So it's been about a month since I moved to Austin, and I still have not posted a video blog, and I think I've only written one email. So I figured I would put up an update and let you all know that I am doing well. Life is good, if a little hectic. I've just moved from the room that I moved in when I first moved into the house to the room right next door. So I still feel as though, with my things still kind of cluttered and disorganized from moving rooms, I still feel as though the move is still underway. And a lot of times, this is quite common with transitions where we're in a transition and it takes longer than expected, and it's just not as smooth as we expect because things happen, life happens. So in the midst of this, I'm also recommitting to, inside I am recommitting to the process of living the life that I want to live. And that includes writing music, producing demos, performing, becoming a better pianist, becoming a better teacher, becoming a better entrepreneur, being of service to my roommates, being of service to my family, making more income, making more content, and being a source of inspiration for musicians and creatives all over who might consume my content. So this is a lot to ask of myself in the midst of what's turned out to be a more complicated transition than I anticipated. And if you're anything like me, you are familiar with the feeling of overcomplicating a transition, overcomplicating a project, a task, or a life episode that you are embarking on. Now, I'm speaking in generalizations here, but we're all familiar with that feeling of overcomplicating things, making things harder than they need to be. So part of making things harder than they need to be is the struggle. And I'm very familiar with the struggle of life, feeling as though whatever I decide to do, if it's worth doing, it's just going to be really, really hard and most likely really painful. But in recent days, that whole attitude of life has really been challenged for me, and I've had to rethink it. And I would challenge you to rethink it too. If that's something you've had issues with, is assuming that things are just going to be really, really hard, maybe reconsider and think, what if things weren't so hard, but they were simple? Maybe not easy, but simple. Maybe there is a simple way to go about a big goal or series of goals or a big picture of how you want your life to look. And maybe that looks like doing something for 20 minutes, doing something for 45 minutes, doing something for an hour, taking 2 hours and just focusing on that one thing for 2 hours, whatever it may be, but sort of like going from thing to thing in a state of ease as opposed to a state of inner torture, essentially. So how can we go from a state of agitation or overwhelm to the state of flow and ease? And I think it's something that it takes practice, and it takes the willingness to look within and understand that we're just not going to do it perfect all the time. In fact, most of the time we're going to fail miserably. We're going to be forced to look at the things that are not wrong with us, but the things that need to be looked at within us that need work. And a lot of that times that involves hard conversations. It involves looking at oneself in the mirror, looking at ourselves in the mirror and having an honest evaluation of ourselves. Sometimes it requires tears. I know I've been crying. I've actually been crying a lot since I moved to Austin, Texas. So it takes a willingness to be able to look at oneself and all the uncomfortable things about oneself, and then say, I'm going to take 100% responsibility, but that doesn't mean beat myself up. It just means be willing to take a more light, easy attitude. So that's what I invite you to do today. In the midst of whatever you're going through right now, take a lighter attitude, be kinder to yourself, and start to schedule your day first, maybe loosely, and then step it up a little more with a little more organization as you go. And I have resources on that I can email you. Just comment on the video below or send me an email at pearsonkeatingmusic@gmail.com if you'd like some more resources on how to manage your time. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share it with people that might benefit from it, and I'll see you in the next video.